The moment you realize you're all you've got, you ever had a moment where life just grabs you by the collar, pulls you close, and whispers, "This ain't it. You're supposed to be more than this." I had that moment years ago. I was broken, and embarrassed to even look at myself in the mirror. Everybody had something to say about me. Everybody had advice, opinions, judgments. Folks who didn't know my story telling me how it should end. And I remember sitting there thinking, why am I letting all this noise drown out the sound of my own life? I'll never forget that day. I walked outside, sat on the edge of a sidewalk, looked up at the sky and said, "God, what do you want me to do?" And I swear something shifted inside me. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, just a whisper in my spirit, "Focus on yourself and be quiet about it." That was the beginning of everything I ever became. Today, I want to take you on a journey, a long, deep, honest one, a journey through 7 powerful truths, not just ideas, but chapters of your soul waking up. 7 turning points that can reshape your destiny if you let them. I need you to listen with your heart, not your ears, because this isn't just motivation. This is transformation. The power of silent growth. Stop announcing and start becoming. There comes a point in your life when you finally realize that noise is cheap, but transformation is expensive. Everybody wants to be seen grinding, talking about their goals, documenting their every move, broadcasting their potential. But what I learned painfully, slowly, and through seasons of failure is that the loudest people are often the least focused, and the quiet ones, the ones you hardly hear from, the ones disappearing into their days, the ones who aren't posting every step of the journey, those are the ones who are truly becoming something. Silent growth is one of the most powerful forces on this earth because it cannot be predicted, interrupted, or destroyed by opinion. When you grow in silence, you grow without permission. You grow without applause. You grow without fear of being misunderstood. You grow without needing validation. You grow because you are finally living for yourself, and that, right there, is when real transformation begins. I remember a time in my life when I was trying so hard to prove to people that I was working, that I was changing, that I was going somewhere. I wanted them to see the effort so they would believe in the dream. But the problem was, every time I talked about it, somebody had something to say. Somebody had a doubt to offer, a criticism to throw, a fear to plant, and it wasn't always from a place of hate. Sometimes it was from people who loved me but couldn't see beyond their own limitations. They thought they were helping, protecting me, keeping me from disappointment. But what they were really doing was shrinking my vision to match their comfort. One day I realized something simple but life-changing. Nobody can advise you on a dream they were never given. And once that truth hit me, I made the decision to go quiet. Not silent because I was hiding, silent because I was protecting the most fragile stage of my growth. See, the beginning of your journey is like the root of a tree. It grows underground. Nobody sees it. Nobody celebrates it. Nobody even knows it exists. But without that invisible stage, nothing above the surface can survive. Your growth works the same way. When you choose silence, you give your dreams the privacy they need to take root. You give your spirit the space to develop strength. You give your mind time to sharpen. You start building habits without being judged for failing at first. You start healing without someone rushing you. You start planning without someone doubting you. You start becoming without someone interrupting you. Silence protects your foundation until you're strong enough to be seen. And let me tell you, people will notice when you go silent. Oh, they'll have questions. They'll wonder what you're doing, why you're so distant, why you're not showing up the way you used to. Some will think something's wrong. Some will think you're drifting away. Some will think you're acting different. But what they won't understand, at least not yet, is that silence isn't distance. It's development. It's you stepping out of the world's noise and stepping into your own purpose. It's you choosing clarity over chaos. It's you refusing to be distracted by conversations that don't grow you, people who don't support you, and environments that don't elevate you. Silence becomes your shield and your sanctuary. And in that sanctuary, you start doing the work that actually matters. Because when you grow in silence, your energy shifts. Your discipline sharpens. Your vision clears up. You stop looking sideways. You stop comparing. You stop seeking approval. You stop needing people to clap for you. You focus on what you're building, not who's watching. You start showing up for yourself in ways you never have before. And let me tell you, when you stay consistent long enough, silence becomes your superpower. You become unpredictable. You become unstoppable. You become undeniable. People won't see your progress. They'll only see your results. They'll see the glow, the confidence, the growth, the transformation, and they'll wonder when, where, and how it happened. It happened in silence. It happened when nobody was watching. It happened in the unseen hours. It happened because you finally learned how powerful it is to stop announcing and start becoming. Silent growth is not weakness. Silent growth is strategy, it's maturity, it's elevation, and nothing intimidates the world more than someone who is quietly becoming everything they were born to be. Focus is a superpower. Protect your attention like your life depends on it. Focus is one of the most misunderstood forms of power in this world. Most people think success comes from talent, intelligence, connections, luck, but the truth is far simpler and far more demanding. Success comes from focus. Pure, disciplined, intentional focus. The kind of focus that requires you to shut out everything that doesn't serve your growth. The kind of focus that forces you to choose your future over your feelings. The kind of focus that requires you to disappoint people so you don't disappoint yourself. That kind of focus is a force that can rearrange your entire life. I'm talking about the level of concentration where you stop giving your energy to every voice, every distraction, every problem that isn't yours to carry, and you start directing your attention toward the life you're trying to build. Because whatever you feed with your focus grows, and whatever you starve of your focus dies. I had to learn this the hard way. There was a time when I let everything pull at me. People's opinions, their problems, their expectations, their emergencies, their moods. I allowed myself to be stretched thin because I thought being available to everyone made me a good person. But what I didn't realize was that every minute I gave away was a minute stolen from my own growth. Every time I said yes to something that didn't align with my purpose, I was saying no to my own progress. And slowly, almost without noticing, I became tired, overwhelmed, directionless. Not because I wasn't capable, but because I wasn't focused. I was busy, but I wasn't growing. I was active, but I wasn't advancing. Once I realized that, everything changed. I learned that focus is about protecting your time, your mind, your energy, and your future. It's about deciding what deserves your attention and what doesn't, and then having the courage to follow through. When you truly commit to focusing on yourself, you start to see life differently. You begin to recognize how much of your energy has been wasted on things that don't matter. You start noticing the conversations that drain you instead of build you. You start seeing the habits that distract you from your vision. You start recognizing the environments that keep you stuck. And you begin to understand that the people who love your distraction will not love your focus. Because a focused person is powerful. A focused person is clear. A focused person is consistent. A focused person is not easily manipulated. And when you become that version of yourself, some people will feel threatened. Some will call you distant. Some will say you changed. But the truth is, you didn't change. They just got used to you prioritizing them over yourself. Focus forces you to grow past the comfort of who you used to be. Focus is not just about choosing what to pay attention to. It's about choosing what to ignore. And let me tell you, ignoring the wrong things can transform your life. Ignore the noise. Ignore the opinions. Ignore the drama. Ignore the doubt. Ignore the things that pull you away from your purpose. Ignore the people who want you to stay the same because your growth reminds them they haven't grown. You have to make peace with being misunderstood. You have to get comfortable with being unavailable. You have to learn that not everything deserves a response. Not everyone deserves access, and not every invitation deserves your acceptance. Your focus becomes your filter that protects your destiny. And once you lock in, once you aim your attention toward improvement, discipline, and elevation, everything shifts. Your mind sharpens, your energy rises, your confidence strengthens. You start making decisions with intention, not impulse. You start feeling less chaotic and more aligned. You stop chasing validation and start pursuing progress. You begin to accomplish in months what used to take you years, because true focus compresses time. It speeds up growth. It accelerates transformation. It turns ordinary days into extraordinary steps forward. And suddenly, you realize that the life you want isn't far away. It was just buried under all the distractions you allowed into your life. Focus is freedom. Focus is clarity. Focus is power. And once you experience the strength of a focused mind, you will never again waste your attention on things that keep you from your own greatness. The inner war battling your doubt, fear, an old identity. There is a war that nobody sees, but everybody feels. A war that happens not out in the world, but inside your own mind. And the truth is, this inner war is the greatest battle you will ever fight, because you're not fighting strangers. You're not fighting enemies. You're not fighting people who don't believe in your dream. No, the person you're fighting is the old version of yourself, the version of you built from years of insecurity, pain, patterns, trauma, and limitations. The version of you shaped by what life taught you before you even had the tools to question it. And that version of you will not step aside quietly. It will resist. It will cling. It will fight to survive. That inner war is the crossroads between who you were and who you're trying to become. See, everybody wants to evolve until they meet the part of themselves that doesn't want to change. Everybody wants success until they realize that success requires slaying the parts of yourself that you've gotten comfortable with. The fear, the self-doubt, the procrastination, the excuses, the people-pleasing. Those things feel familiar, like an old blanket you don't want to throw away, even though it's worn out and full of holes. But you cannot step into a new destiny dragging your old dysfunction behind you. You cannot step into a higher level carrying lower level thinking. You cannot walk into your future wearing the identity of your past. This inner war begins the moment you decide you want more from your life. Doubt is always the first enemy to show up. It whispers in your ear, "Are you sure you're capable? Are you sure you're ready? Are you sure you won't fail?" Doubt wants you to stay small, stay safe, stay predictable. Doubt protects you from disappointment by denying you possibility. And the dangerous thing about doubt is that it sounds like your own voice. It feels familiar. But make no mistake, doubt is not truth. Doubt is the echo of your past trying to shape your future. And if you are not careful, you will confuse the echo with the message. Then fear comes along to reinforce it. Fear doesn't need to scream. It just needs to remind you of what went wrong before, or what could go wrong again. Fear tells you that stepping into the unknown is dangerous, that leaving your comfort will hurt, that change will expose you. But here's what fear never tells you: staying the same will cost you more than changing ever will. Fear doesn't warn you about the price of stagnation. Fear doesn't tell you what you lose by playing small. Fear never talks about the pain of regret. The truth is, fear isn't trying to destroy you. Fear is trying to protect the old you. But the old you cannot be protected if the new you is going to be born. And then there's your old identity, the most difficult enemy of them all, because your old identity knows your habits. It knows your weaknesses. It knows your triggers. It knows what excuses you fall for. It knows how to talk you out of discomfort and back into what feels normal. Even if normal is destroying you, that's why self-growth is so hard. It requires a funeral. You have to lay to rest the version of you that survived your childhood, your heartbreaks, your disappointments, your failures. That version of you got you here, but it cannot take you where you're going next. The moment you start trying to rise, your old identity will try to drag you back. You'll notice it in your habits. The days you say you'll change but don't follow through. You'll notice it in your mindset. The moments you dream big and then talk yourself out of it. You'll notice it in your relationships. The people who expect you to be who you used to be instead of who you're trying to become. And you'll notice it in your emotions. The fear, the anxiety, the frustration that surfaces whenever you try to break your own limitations. That emotional resistance, that's the battlefield, that's the inner war. Growth requires choosing your future self over your former self over and over again. It requires waking up each day and saying, "I refuse to shrink back into the person I've outgrown." It requires courage, a different kind of courage. Not the courage to fight the world, but the courage to confront yourself. The courage to sit with your pain instead of avoiding it. The courage to break habits instead of defending them. The courage to say no to old patterns even when they feel comfortable. The courage to build new beliefs even when they feel unfamiliar. The courage to rewrite your identity even when your past keeps calling your name. And here's the beautiful, painful truth. The inner war means you're growing. The battle means you're evolving. The conflict means your old self and your new self are wrestling for dominance. And the only way to win this war is to keep choosing the version of you that you were designed to become, not the version of you that life forced you to be. This war is not a sign that you're failing. It's proof that you're finally fighting back. Pain is a teacher. Let your struggles shape you, not break you. There is a moment in life when pain stops being something that happens to you and becomes something that shapes you. And that moment, whether you realize it or not, is one of the most defining turning points of your entire existence. Every person who has ever risen above their circumstances has one thing in common. They learned how to turn pain into power. They stopped asking, why is this happening to me? And started asking, what is this teaching me? Because pain is not just a wound, it's a warning, a lesson, a mirror, a compass, a refiner, a builder. Pain is a teacher, and if you let it, it will elevate you in ways comfort never could. Most people run from pain because they've been taught that it's something to fear. They've been told pain is punishment, that it's unfair, that it's a sign they've done something wrong. But the truth is, pain is often the first sign that something in your life needs to grow. Think about it. Your muscles don't grow until they're pushed to the point of discomfort. Your character doesn't grow until life forces you to change. Your wisdom doesn't grow until you've lived through something you didn't think you'd survive. Pain is the pressure that pushes you out of the shell you were never meant to stay in. Without that pressure, you would remain exactly where you are, living beneath your potential, never stretching into your purpose. I've learned that in every painful season, there are messages hidden beneath the struggle. Pain exposes weaknesses you didn't know you had. Pain reveals truths you've been avoiding. Pain forces you to slow down, reflect, and confront the parts of your life you've tried to ignore. Sometimes pain shows up to say, you can't keep living like this. Sometimes it shows up to say, you're capable of more than you think. Sometimes it shows up to say, it's time to let go. And sometimes pain shows up simply to break the illusion that you're in control, so you learn how to trust the process instead of trying to manipulate it. And as harsh as it sounds, pain does something even more important. It humbles you. It strips away your ego. It breaks down the image you've built for the world and forces you to confront who you really are beneath the surface. When you're broken, you stop pretending, you stop performing, you stop hiding behind status and comfort. Pain pulls you into a raw honesty that is both frightening and freeing. And in that honesty, you begin to rebuild, not from who you were pretending to be, but from who you truly are. That authenticity becomes the foundation for the strongest version of yourself. But here's the part most people don't realize. Pain is not meant to be permanent. It's meant to prepare you. Every time life hurt you, it was preparing your character. Every heartbreak was preparing your heart. Every loss was preparing your resilience. Every failure was preparing your wisdom. Every disappointment was preparing your discernment. Pain trains you for the moments you don't even know are coming. It sharpens you so you can handle the blessings, the opportunities, and the responsibilities that your future requires. Without the pain, you wouldn't have the strength to hold the success you're praying for. Some of the most powerful people you admire didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because they refused to let pain break them. They refused to let life make them bitter. They refused to stay down when everything in them wanted to give up. They allowed pain to shape them, refine them, deepen them. They learned that pain does not destroy you. Resistance to pain does. The more you fight it, the longer it lasts. But when you learn to sit with it, learn from it, and let it move through you, pain becomes fuel. It becomes wisdom. It becomes clarity. It becomes strength. You grow differently when you understand that pain is part of the process. You stop taking every struggle personally. You stop seeing every challenge as an attack. You stop believing the lie that you're cursed or unlucky. Instead, you start seeing pain as an invitation to evolve, and suddenly your mindset shifts. Instead of crumbling under pressure, you rise. Instead of breaking, you build. Instead of questioning your worth, you step deeper into it. Instead of surrendering to fear, you surrender to faith. The truth is, pain will visit you whether you're prepared or not. But suffering, that's a choice. You can let pain break you, or you can let it build you. You can let pain make you bitter, or you can let it make you better. You can let pain stop your story, or you can let it shape your strength. When you finally reach the other side of your struggle, you'll look back and realize something powerful. It wasn't the easy days that made you. It wasn't the comfortable moments that transformed you. It wasn't the applause, the praise, or the perfect seasons. It was the pain, the pressure, the storms, the nights you cried, the days you doubted, the moments you felt alone. Those were the chapters that carved your character. Those were the battles that woke up your courage. Those were the flames that forged your strength. Pain didn't break you. Pain built you.